Welcome back to Eagle Coins. Before you spend another dime, stop for just a moment. Because the tiny coin sitting in your pocket, your change jar, or an old family collection could be hiding a story that almost nobody notices. Every single day, millions of Roosevelt dimes are spent without a second thought. But every once in a while, one appears with the right date, the right mint mark, the right condition, or an extraordinary mint error that sends collectors into a frenzy. Today's countdown is not about ordinary pocket change. It's about 3 Roosevelt dimes that have captured the attention of serious collectors and could surprise anyone lucky enough to discover the right example. The most exciting part? We are saving the estimated collector value until the end of each coin, so you can discover exactly why these coins have become so fascinating in the numismatic world. Stay with me until the very end, because coin number 1 has details that many people overlook, and those tiny details can completely change the way collectors look at a coin. If you love hidden treasures, rare American coins, and unbelievable discoveries, you're in exactly the right place. Now, take a deep breath, grab your coin collection if you have one, and let's reveal today's first hidden treasure. Coin number 1. At first glance, the 1983 Roosevelt dime with the Denver D mint mark doesn't seem extraordinary. Millions were struck for circulation, and countless Americans handled them every day while buying groceries, paying for coffee, or dropping spare change into jars. Because of that, most people never imagine that a 1983 with D dime deserves a second look. But experienced collectors know something important. The smallest details can make the biggest difference. If your coin shows unusual coloring, including green, brown, or black areas on the reverse, remember that color alone usually does not make a coin valuable. Those marks are often caused by environmental exposure, storage conditions, or circulation. What collectors really search for are original surfaces, exceptional preservation, dramatic mint errors, or unusually sharp strikes. The Roosevelt dime itself has an important place in American history. Introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, after his passing, the coin became a lasting tribute to his leadership and his connection with the March of Dimes campaign. Since 1965, circulating Roosevelt dimes have been struck with a copper core covered by copper nickel-clad layers, making them durable for everyday commerce. The 1983 with D issue was produced at the Denver Mint and features Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse, while the reverse displays the Torch of Liberty between an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. For collectors, the real excitement begins when examining every tiny detail. Is the strike unusually sharp? Are the horizontal bands on the torch fully defined? Is there evidence of an authentic mint error? Has the coin remained in remarkable condition for decades? These are the characteristics that separate an ordinary dime from one that attracts serious collector attention. Because more than 700 million examples were produced, most circulated 1983 with D dimes are common. However, premium quality certified examples and certain rare varieties have generated much stronger interest in the collector market, especially when professionally graded by respected grading services. If you own a 1983 with D Roosevelt dime, never clean it. Cleaning can permanently reduce collector value. Instead, examine it carefully under good lighting, compare it with trusted references, and if you believe it has an unusual feature or genuine mint error, consider having it authenticated by a professional grading service. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. The market value you provided is $130. I can't confirm that as a current market price because available collector references do not support that valuation for a standard 1983 with D. Roosevelt dime. Verified values depend on authentication, grade, and whether the coin has a genuinely rare error or other exceptional characteristic. If you enjoyed today's discovery, make sure you subscribe to Eagle Coins because we bring you freshly updated rare coin videos every day, helping you learn what collectors are really searching for and which hidden treasures might be waiting in everyday collections. Coin number 2. The next coin on today's countdown may surprise almost everyone watching. It doesn't come from the 1940s or the silver era. Instead, it comes from 2005 Ampere's year that many people would never imagine could produce a coin that attracts the attention of dedicated collectors. That alone makes this Roosevelt dime fascinating, because sometimes the biggest surprises are hiding in the coins people least expect. Imagine reaching into a jar of loose change and pulling out a 2005 Roosevelt dime with a P mint mark. Most people would spend it without a second thought. But an experienced collector doesn't stop there. They carefully inspect every detail under good lighting, because tiny differences can completely change the story of a coin. If your dime shows green, brown, or dark spots on the reverse, those colors are usually the result of environmental exposure, storage, or circulation, rather than a sign of rarity by themselves. What truly excites collectors are authentic mint errors, unusually strong strikes, original surfaces, and exceptional preservation. These are the characteristics that can transform an ordinary-looking coin into something much more desirable. The Roosevelt dime has honored President Franklin D. Roosevelt since 1946, celebrating one of America's most influential leaders. The 2005 with P dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint using a copper core clad with copper-nickel layers, giving it durability for everyday circulation. On the obverse is Roosevelt's portrait, while the reverse displays the iconic torch, olive branch, and oak branch representing liberty, peace, and strength. For serious collectors, the excitement begins with a close inspection. Does the coin have sharp full bands on the torch? Is there an authentic off-center strike, die crack, double die, or another genuine mint error? Has the coin survived in nearly uncirculated condition for years? These are the questions that experienced numismatists ask before assigning any premium value. Coins with verified errors or top-certified grades are always much more desirable than ordinary circulated pieces. If you discover a 2005 with P. Roosevelt dime that appears unusual, resist the temptation to clean it. Cleaning can permanently reduce the collector appeal. Instead, place it in a protective holder and have it evaluated by a respected third-party grading service if you believe it has a genuine mint error or outstanding condition. Now comes the moment everyone has been waiting for. You provided a market value of $95. I can't confirm that as the current market value for a standard 2005 with P. Roosevelt dime because available market references do not support that price. A value at that level would require an exceptionally rare, authenticated mint error or another extraordinary characteristic verified by professional grading and the collector market. If you're enjoying today's countdown, don't forget to subscribe to Eagle Coins. We bring you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day, helping you learn which coins deserve a closer look before they disappear back into circulation. Coin number 3. We've finally reached the last coin in today's countdown. And this is where things become truly interesting. At first glance, the 1975 Roosevelt dime with the D mint mark appears to be just another ordinary 10-cent coin that millions of Americans have handled over the years. It may have spent decades passing through cash registers, piggy banks, vending machines, and pockets across the country. But every serious collector knows that appearances can be incredibly deceptive. Imagine finding a 1975 with D. Roosevelt dime with noticeable brown toning and small brown dots on the reverse while searching through an old collection. Most people would never give it a second look. They would simply assume it's another worn dime. Yet experienced collectors understand that every coin deserves a careful inspection before reaching a conclusion. Sometimes the smallest details can separate an everyday coin from one that becomes the highlight of a collection. The Roosevelt dime has been a symbol of American history since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt for his leadership and his connection to the March of Dimes campaign. The 1975 with D issue was struck at the Denver Mint using a copper core with outer copper nickel-clad layers. On the front is Roosevelt's portrait, while the reverse proudly displays the Torch of Liberty between an olive branch and an oak branch, representing freedom, peace, and strength. It is a design that millions of Americans recognize instantly. When collectors examine a 1975 with D dime, they look far beyond surface color. Brown spots or toning are often caused by natural aging or environmental exposure, and by themselves usually do not create rarity. What truly captures attention are genuine mint errors, exceptionally sharp strikes with strong, full bands on the torch, original mint luster, and outstanding preservation. Those are the qualities that can transform an ordinary-looking coin into one that collectors compete to own. Because the Denver Mint produced more than 313 million examples, most circulated 1975 with D dimes remain common, making authenticated rare varieties and elite condition pieces much more desirable. If you discover a 1975 with D Roosevelt dime, resist the temptation to clean it. Even a light cleaning can permanently reduce collector appeal. Instead, examine the coin carefully under magnification, compare it with known varieties, and if you believe you found something unusual, consider having it authenticated by a respected third-party grading service. Professional certification is one of the most important steps in determining whether a coin has significant collector value. Now for the reveal. You provided a market value of $165. I can't confirm that, as the current market value for a standard 1975 D Roosevelt dime, because available price guides do not support that figure. A value in that range would require an exceptionally rare, authenticated mint error or another extraordinary characteristic, not simply a normal 1975 with D circulation strike. And that brings us to the end of today's countdown. If you enjoyed uncovering these fascinating Roosevelt dimes, make sure you subscribe to Eagle Coins, because we bring you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. You never know which coin in your own collection could have an extraordinary story waiting to be discovered.